How is it going, guys? Today we are giving the FRS a little bit of a break and we're gonna be working on the Tacoma. So I've got it pulled inside the shop. One, because it is cold outside, and two, it's super dark, so I wouldn't be able to do anything anyway. Now we're gonna be taking care of something that has been on my to-do list for quite some time now, but I've been putting it off and procrastinating till today. Hopping inside the truck, you can see that I'm using a radar detector that's mounted to my windshield and routed down through this coiled wire to a cigarette lighter plug. Not the most ideal wiring situation because it's just dangling down from the middle of the mirror here and it's right in the middle of my field of view. But we are gonna be getting rid of that today with a Hardwire kit, so we won't have this dangling here and we'll free up that cigarette lighter plug for use with whatever else I need. Now I know I'm doing this on a Tacoma, but this pretty much applies to any other car that you need to add accessories to and find a source of power, whether it is a radar detector or what else do people add to their cars? Dash cam, wireless phone chargers, footwell lighting kits, underglow, whatever your heart desires. If you need to find an accessory power supply, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. The first thing we need to do is locate the fuse panel. Most cars usually have one inside the car and in the engine bay. For ease of access, we're gonna be utilizing the one inside of the car. Most of the time, it's located on the driver's side underneath the dash. For the Tacoma, it's behind this cubby hole, so we'll just pull this out and you can see that fuse panel. Now that we've found the fuse panel, we need to identify a switch source of power, which means that it's only providing power when the key is in the ignition and in the on or accessory position. We don't want a constant source of power because that would obviously drain the battery. Now there's a couple ways to do this. The easiest way is probably with something like this, which is a circuit tester. You connect this end to a ground, and then you use this end to prod the fuse, and if the light turns on, you have power. An easy ground source you can use on most cars is the door striker here. So we just need to connect this end of the circuit tester on here, and then we can go test the fuses. So each of these small fuses here is going to have two tiny holes on the top of them that you can insert the tester into. And if you put that in there to test it, and the light turns on like so, I don't have the key in the ignition right now, so that means this is a constant source of power and we're not gonna want to use this one. We're gonna go ahead and go through these fuses and locate one that when you do test it, it doesn't turn on like that. And then you can stick the key in the ignition. And there you can see when I turn the key on, the light turns on. So that is a switch source of power, and that is gonna be a fuse that we can use. Once we've located a source of power that we're gonna use, we need to route the wiring. So what I've done is connect the wire to the radar detector and I've ran it up from the mirror and we're running it across the headliner on the edge here. And then we're gonna go down the A pillar. I've got the seal off here to make it easy to get the wiring all the way down to that fuse box. The next step is gonna be installing the add a fuse and finding a ground. If you take a look inside the fuse box in your engine bay, usually you will find some sort of fuse puller like the one I have here. This is gonna help us pull out that fuse that we need to tap into. I'm gonna be pulling the fuse for the washer reservoir. It's the bottom left position here. It's a 10 amp fuse. Just pulls out like so. I've routed the wiring down to the fuse box and I've crimped on an add a fuse to the end. I've got both of the fuses installed and we are going to install this into the same position that we pulled the fuse out of, and then we can locate a position that we can install the ground wire in. For the ground wire, I've got the trim removed on the lower left side of the footwell here, and you can see this bolt that's holding this bracket in place. That is what I've got the ground wire hooked up to, but you can pretty much use any bolt that's bare metal that goes into the body of the car. We've got everything wired up, it's zip tied and tucked away to make sure nothing is dangling in the footwell. If we have everything installed correctly, when I go to insert the key and turn it, that should turn on just like that, and we are pretty much set, guys. It looks a whole lot better without that cable just dangling in the middle there. If you guys were interested in doing this yourself, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I'll leave a link to that circuit tester down in the description. I wanna wish you guys a happy holiday. Hopefully you guys get to spend some quality time with your friends and family this weekend, and maybe even unwrap some car parts. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.